We'll try that one again. We're going to try and get through this one very quickly because my backlog of 1/6 scale figures suddenly got a little bit bigger. And this one has also been sitting unopened in the toy room since January. That's how distracted I've been this year. And yeah, getting right into it. First of all, for those of you that have been here a while, you might remember last year that I bought the 1/6 scale Sub-Zero from Storm Collectibles. I got that for, very cheap, much less than retail, and it was secondhand from a private collector. At the time, I was fairly satisfied, or at least I had to be, with getting Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is my boy. I was happy to get at least him. With Scorpion being the much more popular character, I was like, nah. Looking at the prices online, it seemed like it was going to be an impossibility to get him. And then, it's been so long ago, I actually forgot if it was an auction. I think it might have been an auction. Actually, it might have been a discounted offer. In any case, it was a lot less than retail. Again, from a private collector, secondhand. That's how I get a lot of my high-end 1/6 scale stuff. And, for how excited and how much I was anticipating this, you'd think I would have ripped into it much earlier. But, again, I kind of think it's worthy of having a longer look like this. So, let's get right into it. Once again, we have the overhead camera. And there we go. There's the box right there. Beautiful. Mortal Kombat 11. As I sort of... excuse me. As I learned from the last time, Mortal Kombat 11 had a whole bunch of skins, for classic ninja skins. DLC, basically, for the ninja characters in that game. The designs are emulating the MK2, the Mortal Kombat 2 looks with the masks, the recycled masks. I think they were from Paintball, perhaps, and the quilted tabards. So yeah, it's nice and beautiful and glossy work there. Stuff on the back. Age 17 plus. I mean, if you're gonna give your kid this, you've got a lot more money than brains, but yeah, anyway. Let's slip this out. Oh wow, I'm stuck. Where is the other way? The other way was better. Ew. Come on. This is like vacuumed in, what the hell? Alright, let's oh, okay. Pushing is better than pulling. It's like a Chinese finger trap. Let's see if that's working, that lighting. Like I said, it's already been opened by the previous owner, different to the owner of the Sub-Zero that I also bought. Oh, I'm getting a lot of glare from the lights, but we'll manage. Oh, wow. Wow. I only had a look back in January in terms of seeing that it was in the box. Took the slipcover off. That is gorgeous. Look at that work. That is mighty nice. The detail on here and the quilting on the tabard. There is a little bit of weathering on the knee armour, shin armour here. This is beautiful. Oh wow, dude. There's even lacing on the back here. That actually kind of reminds me of my my Sub-Zero cosplay from, it'd be like 15 years ago now, or something like that. And in order to hold the gut in, the middle section, the belt, the cummerbund basically had blue elastic lacing on the back, and I did use that for a while as a girdle for certain other costumes as well. But yeah, it was Always very tight and a little too small for me these days, unfortunately. I was 20 kilos lighter back then. That's odd to be that young again. Oh, it looks like it pops off quite easily. But yeah, that is great work. Let's set you over here for the time being. Actually, let's turn you that way for the camera for now. While I look at some of the other things here. Wow! Check that out. I wonder if that might look better on this camera here. That is beautiful. That is a beautiful piece of plastic. But yeah, it's gorgeously done. Basically, you put your you put his fist there to make him like do a fiery punch. Oh, very clever. The alternate hands, like last time, I'll just leave them in there for the time being. Let's get his stand out first. Oh! This is how great condition this is. The stand pieces are actually still taped in. I guess some people don't like stands for their characters. You look at Scorpion right now, and he stands rather well. There's not much of a problem going on there. It's almost like he doesn't need help, but sometimes it's always handy to have. Oh, how does this go? It's always handy to have a little something that will make sure. Ooh, ratcheting. It's always nice to have something that'll make sure your valuable figures stay on the shelf. The number of times I've had Marvel Legends figures and whatnot just fall off. Yeah, it is. Okay, it pinches him. It doesn't go all the way around. Pinches right around the belt. And, yeah, holds him in place. Yeah, I think all the accessories have actually been untouched. That's incredible. All the tape seems to be intact. Like, you know that telltale residue of someone's fingerprint, or the fact that it's been lifted up, doesn't look quite the same. None of that's here. Not until my grubby fingers got under it. There's his katanas. Ooh. There is a weight to them. For a bit of plastic, there is a hefty weight. They seem a lot more substantial and sturdy than one would assume. I think it's because they want to make sure they're not going to break. Okay, I had a thought that maybe there's metal inside of them, or they're die cast or something like that, because they actually feel. What if the packaging tells me? Nothing here to tell me any of that. Interesting. But yeah, they almost feel like they could be die cast, or it's just some very sturdy plastic. But they're substantial enough to. They're quite substantial, is what I'm trying to say there. I'll leave that there for the time being. And let's get his iconic weapon out. There you go. That's pretty. So I've got two kunai here. I think that's what they were called. But yeah, one's loose, one's on a chain, and that's a real chain. That's a real metal chain right there. Can't doubt that. Although these feel plastic, but the chain itself. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to look at the pictures on the back of the box because I want to know how it's put together. I don't see any instructions. I'm thinking small one on the top. Yeah, sorry, just quickly. That's what they're supposed to hook through, but these feel smaller than they're meant to be unless they've shrunk over time. I mean, they're just, you know, a bit of faux leather vinyl. The small one seems to slot through. Not sure you can see from the top camera there. There we go. So yeah, smaller one goes through quite easily, but the big one is the one I'm worried about. And I think it's one of those things where it's just like, if you're the owner, just do it. Maybe I should get a hairdryer. Okay, it's back out. Let's go. Let's insert this the other way. Bit better. Stuck at the top. Okay, probably don't have to go too far down. The big one in. Is that even correct? Because that feels like an imbalance. That looks messy. Okay, so that's less messy if you just balance it. Well, that's as best as I'm going to get that. I'm not completely happy with it, but it feels like that's the only way to get that to work. I did look it up. I have done this correctly now. I think I've got it balanced. It's looking a lot better. Yeah, I'm a little more satisfied with it now, but it does seem a little clumsy. I think it's more a case of wear along the sheath, the scabbard, the sheath that you balance it, as well as where along the belt you actually have it. Let's put him there. Why don't you? There you go. That's pretty nice. He's looking a bit meatheady with the way I've sort of stood him there, but yeah, it's sort of like that's kind of what you want. Let's try something. So these are just the fists. A lot of plastic I'm juggling with here. That hand. So I'll get these. So we get these two hands. Gently doing this. Actually, let's take him off the stand. That just makes it a little awkward and cumbersome when he's all attached to that. Oh, shit. Very strong. Ooh, that is a hefty looking peg. I'm liking that. Oh. I swear I should get a hairdryer, but I'm too lazy. Alright. Gotta be careful because his arm brace is actually loose. It comes off, which is very interesting. Actually, a lot of these pieces are just pressure fit. They do come off. There's a part of me that wonders about the previous owner. Like, none of this seemed like it came out of the package, except for the fact that there's no plastic protecting our our figure here, you know, the soft plastic that kind of covers every limb, but all these hands feel fresh, like they've never been swapped out or anything. Maybe they were minimalist in how they displayed things. Maybe they opened it up, saw the one thing, and then decided, nah, not for me. Seems to happen a lot. Oh, but then you've got the people who resell. Who order something, open it up to make sure it's in there, and then they flip it online. Let's put you back on the stand. Nice wide stance, like you're at a urinal. There is a gap. There is a gap between the thumb and forefinger, so you can bend it out, or you can... So you can either bend the thumb out and put the chain through, or just loop it through between. Yeah, this plastic does have enough give to do that. Let's loop it around just a little bit more. Right, okay. His armbands. When you move him, when you vibrate him, even just a little bit, the armbands on the biceps just keep dropping down. They are purely pressure fit, and that's a little frustrating. Wide stance. There we go. That is very cool. Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice. I'm watching on the screen, the big screen to the side here, the big monitor, and yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Just quickly, the slip the slipcase is off to the side here, and there's a picture on the back which has Scorpion doing his iconic move with the chain. The chain is outstretched. And I'm looking at that going, that can't do that. Is there a piece I'm missing? Like, is there a version of it that is just a straight chain, but it's not here? And I'm looking at that going, well, technically that's false advertising, because there's nothing else to kind of imply that it's being held up by anything, but... Oh, wait. That's where all that plastic I was referring to before is. It is disappointing that they didn't add an extra accessory of a straight launched version of his iconic spear. Of his iconic spear move, sorry. Like, to have both would be really great. So you could do a pose like this, which is, you know, like just really menacing, or you just do the iconic move and then and have it... that's a missed opportunity right there. It really is. Because what was it? My 1/4 scale Homecoming Spider-Man from NECA Toys. It comes with streams of web, and they're very solid. And there's tiny little holes in his web shooter that you can just insert them in. But unfortunately, that's not the case here. And yet, still so very nice. In focus, because I want to bring this bastard in. There we go. Sorry, I'm just being very fiddly with the camera and its focus, but yeah. Oh, it's so cool. It's very nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah, they're almost identical in how they're made, because that's how the classic Mortal Kombat ninjas were done. Basically, just palette swaps of the same digitally captured stunt actor, which was I was so impressed with that back in the day. I loved that sort of thing. Loved finding out the sort of behind the scenes stuff. Looking at them side by side here, Mortal Enemies. This is Oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Grew up with Mortal Kombat back in the 90s. I think Mortal Kombat 1, I remember back in the day playing that. Was it the first time I saw it was in the Central Market Chinatown food court? And it just blew my mind. It was just sitting there, you know, fully activated, blood and all, and finding out that fatalities were a thing was, just so exciting for, what was I, 10, 11 years old? Something like that. I'm noticing on the back of Scorpion here, I'm wondering if it's the lighting or if it's a case of actual sort of dirt. Like the raised portions of the... Sorry, just put this here. The raised portions of his quilting seem a little dark. I don't think you can see that on the camera, but it's not noticeable on Subby here because blue's a darker colour, but on the light, the warm yellow, you could see that maybe had a bit of dirt. I don't know if that's deliberate. I don't know if that's just because it's been handled by, you know, dirty collector hands like mine, or something. It kind of almost adds to the detail to it, but also at the same time I wonder if it's meant to be like that. I think I said previously that I had a hard time justifying Storm Collectibles prices. The much smaller figures, they look fantastic, but I've got a Gears of War 5 figure in my collection that I got very cheap. And I've seen other people review... There's been mixed reviews on the quality of those figures. Not that they're bad, but they seem to be on par with something like from NECA, for instance. Maybe not quite as nice, but, you know, it depends which figure. And so I was never able to justify those exorbitant prices after conversion. People are asking anywhere between $150 to $250 for a figure half this size. These admittedly go for a few $100s like you would, you know, a 1/6 scale figure. I got both of these for less than retail, less than what people are asking for, especially a lot less than what people are asking for Scorpion, because he's very popular. But you know what? This is what I'm sort of very pleased. I'm so happy to have these two. I love these two characters. I love Mortal Kombat, and to have them represented like this. There have been other attempts at 1/6 scale, and it's again mixed results for what they are. But to have them finally represented like this so well in such a great manner is just I say satisfying. There's something satisfying about being able to have this in the collection, being able to do this. Okay, so yeah, not much of a review, just a bit of a long, maybe long, depends how I edit this. Just an unboxing finally of Scorpion here to go with his mate Sub-Zero. I loved it. Thank you for joining me as always. Remember the usual bullshit, like, share, subscribe. Please kind of share it around if you can. And yeah, a few more 1/6 scale figures to get through before the really impressive one that I can't wait to show you.